Welcome to the cabin. Today we're painting another miniature from the Warzone Eternal Kickstarter. Before we start though, please consider giving the video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about future content. With that said, let's get to it. It's time for the final Warzone Eternal miniature from Resnova Games, the Sunset Striker from the Capital faction. Watch the other videos in this series by clicking on the playlist right here. The Kickstarter was successfully funded shortly after my last video, reaching more than 200% of the initial goal. I can't wait for the stuff I pledged for to arrive so I can paint more of these awesome minis. If you want to know more about this upcoming game, check out the social media links for Resnova in the description down below. I prepped the miniature in the exact same way as in the Trencher video. And once again, I used the zenithal highlight as a guide for where to place shadows and highlights. The colors I'm using on this figure were inspired by the classic artwork of Stuart Beale. I started with painting the fabrics, base coating these areas with Mephiston Red. I chose this instead of Corn Red to create a different hue compared to the armor of the Golden Lion I painted previously. I then washed these areas with Carroburg Crimson. After this, I reapplied Mephiston Red to bring back some definition. Next up, I layered on Evil Sun Scarlet. This was followed by a highlight of Wild Rider Red. And then a selective highlight of Troll Slayer Orange. On the very sharpest points, I applied a thin line of Fire Dragon Bright. Finally, I used Blood Angels Red, diluted with a lot of contrast medium as a filter. The armor and gloves were base coated with Celestra Grey. I then used Drakenhof Nightshade as a pin wash in the recesses. To clean up any mistakes, I used Celestra Grey once again. Next up, I applied Grey Sear. When covering larger surfaces, I opted to add more water into the mix and applied it in several layers to help create better transitions. Same method goes for when I used Ulthuan Grey as the next layer. This was followed by a highlight using a 50-50 mix of Ulthuan Grey and White Scar. Next, I used pure White Scar as a selective highlight. At last, I used Apothecary White diluted with a lot of contrast medium as a filter. With the whole red and grey uniform finished, it was time for the details. I painted the leather in the same way as the Free Marine, and the metallics and skin in the same way as the Golden Lion. Check out those videos if you want to see the exact colors that I used. I base coated the hair with Abaddon Black. I actually made a mistake here and painted part of the headband too, but I corrected it at a later stage. Next up, I layered Dark Reaper on all the strands. After that, I used Dawnstone to further highlight some of the strands. This was followed by Celestra Grey, adding an even smaller highlight inside the previous one. Finally, I used Space Wolf's Grey, diluted with a lot of contrast medium, as the filter. I painted the headband with the same colors as the armor and gloves. Afterwards, I added a small dot of Mephiston Red. Plus a highlight of Evil Sun Scarlet. And lastly, Wild Rider Red. With all the details finished, I applied a 50-50 mix of matte and satin varnish to the whole model, and since it's a capital miniature, I did the base in the same Martian theme as the Free Marine. With that, the Sunset Striker was complete. I have to say I like this classic red and grey scheme. I especially enjoyed painting the lighter shade of grey and taking it all the way up to pure white, but aiming for a finish that still has plenty of contrast. I've had a blast painting these Warzone Eternal miniatures, and it's bittersweet to be done with all 5. Again, I would like to thank Alex from Res Nova Games for sending us these miniatures. I definitely encourage you guys to check out the links in the description down below to find out more about Warzone Eternal. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Click subscribe and ring that bell icon if you don't want to miss out on any other future content from the channel. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and follow us on social media for updates. We'll see you next time. Good luck with your miniatures.